Oh shit. Ah, I almost knocked over my bookshelf. This is what people do when they vlog about books, right? They film in front of one of their bookshelves. Cool. Doing it right. Off to a good start. Let's go. So I'm going to do one of these things called book hauls just to try it out. So I'm going to start with the easy one because it's actually book 8 in the series, or book 9 if you want to count the prequel. The Eye of God by James Rollins. So this is the most recent release in what is called the Sigma series, which are basically action-adventure thriller novels done in the style of Clive Cussler. It follows a team of specially chosen people called the Sigma Force, which are basically scientists with guns, and what they do is save the world from various scientific phenomena that quite often blurs the lines between religion and science. If you want to read the series, the first book is Map of Bones, or you can start with the prequel, Sandstorm, although you can read this at any time during the series, basically whenever you want. Or maybe read a couple of the Sigma series before you read the prequel, or start with the prequel. I'm not the boss of you, do what you want. Alright, the next book, oh, it feels so good in my hands. Okay, the next book is one that people have just been raving about since it came out, and one I've been meaning to pick up but never did until now. Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I am so excited to read this. In fact, I was so excited to read this that I've actually already started to read it. I feel like I've broken some sort of unwritten rule of book hauls, but oh well, it's good, I don't care. But since I've already started, I can tell you with certainty that people have not been raving about this for nothing. Ready Player One is set in the year 2044, where the world has turned into this really ugly, dirty place where people prefer the virtual reality of Oasis to the actual real world. When the wealthy creator of this virtual utopia passes, he leaves in his wake the biggest video game to ever exist, one that will bring the winner the entire wealth left behind by the creator, which in a world where people are living in trailer parks stacked up on top of each other is a pretty big deal. So the story centers around the character Wade, who is the first person to find the first clue in the competition. Suddenly he's forced to face reality as he's beset upon by players that are willing to kill to win the fortune. See, when I first picked this up, it says at the top, enchanting, Willy Wonka meets the Matrix, and I was kind of like, what? But now I get it. It makes sense. As ridiculous as that sounds, it makes sense. The next book is another one I've actually been meaning to read for a long time, and I am a lot late to the party on this one, seeing as it's a classic, but 1984 by George Orwell, the masterpiece that destroyed him. So for those of you out there who are like me and have never even touched this book, 1984 is a book that was published in 1949 and speaks of a totalitarian future of 1984. This is a story that has remained rich and terrifying to this day, and as I understand it, is actually more relevant to today than any other book out there. Mind you, I'm only speaking by what I've heard from other people, but it has been on my must-read list for a few years now. And besides, isn't this cover just gorgeous? Oh my god! It's so nice! For the fourth and final book, I've sort of fallen under a little bit of peer pressure here. The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett, the first book in the Discworld series. This is something that people have been telling me to read for a very long time, so I finally gave in, and to be honest, I'm kind of really looking forward to it. I know absolutely nothing about this series, only what's written on the back of this book. Apparently there's a giant turtle and a spectacularly inept wizard, and it sounds hilarious. God, this guy's written a lot. So that'll take me a while to get through them. And it was actually just mentioned in Ready Player One when I was reading it this morning, which was kind of cool because I saw Discworld and I was like, hey, I've got that here. Yeah, that's my book haul from yesterday. I will do reviews of the 3 books, Ready Player One, 1984, and The Color of Magic. Yeah, let me know if you've read any of those books and how much you like them, and if I've done well in my choices, and if you have any other recommendations for me, that would be spectacular. Bye!